There is something really important you should know about anxiety, and that is, anxiety is not necessarily the avoidance of consequences. It also isn't a result of fear, but uncertainty. Now, in order to understand how anxiety really works, we would have to get a little bit into psychoanalysis here, but let's try to imagine yourself you're in a position of a child. So, like every child wants to be taken care of, it wants all its needs met, it wants to be loved by its mother. But in order to achieve this desire of being taken care of, the child has to come to reach the need of the mother. And what I mean by that is, it has to figure out how it comes to be desired by the mother, in order for the mother to desire it back, in the sense that it would take care of it, that the mother would take care of the child. Now, if you would come into the position of the child, what happens is that you don't really know a lot of things, and in that sense, either if you would react in any certain kind of way, there would be always a possibility that the mother would either approve of your behavior or disapprove of your behavior. And so, once you're uncertain of how a certain result will come out, your mind will begin to come up unconsciously of a lot of scenarios with ways things could end up, either in a positive way, where she would approve of your behavior, in a negative way, where she would be mad at you, or other varieties in between. Now, due to negativity bias, you will naturally extend towards a negative assumption, because the body wants to preserve itself and it reacts more painfully to negative experiences than to positive experience, for instance. But when you are anxious, you're not anxious about a consequence, in the sense where you begin to worry about the negative experience and try to think about the future and how you plan about the future. Thinking about the future does not make you anxious. In fact, thinking about the future is an attempt to resolve this anxiety. The same way negative experience or threats or so-called dangers are not things that result the anxiety, it's caused by the anxiety in the first place. Now, what is the opposite in this sense for anxiety? As you know, you could do possibly anything. You could go to the balcony and fall off the balcony. You could ride a bike and you have all the potential any second to crash into something or just to fall over or to hurt yourself. What's interesting in this regard is that even though we are aware of certain consequences of certain things, there are still some things that don't provoke any anxiety at all, but others tend to drive us insane. Let's take, for example, you learning to ride a car. Now, when you never have ridden a car or driven a car before in your life, the very first experience where you don't know how to do it and someone is watching you and you try to get everything right. The moment you lose certainty is the moment you create anxiety. Even to the very experience of driving the car, the first time may be the same as coming to drive the car when you already get used to driving the car. What happens is that moment when you stop, this uncertainty created from driving the car, is that the anxiety will vanish. And so, in order to overcome anxiety, the remedy for that would be competence. Or in other words, to bring oneself into such a position of certainty that one will be certain of one's decision how to do things or how to figure it out. And so, therefore, anxiety is a result of a lack of self-belief. And this is essentially it. Thanks.